I was the youngest of 6 with a lisp, dyslexia, and very chunky. Not the best way, really, to start off for a man who's done almost 100 movies, 1,000 hours of television, 5 amazing children, and to share it all with an amazing partner in the ups, and just as importantly, the downs, my amazing wife, Reve. Follow God's path, and you will go down the right one. Maybe there's an old friend who needs some help from you, someone who looks different from you. Bigotry, greed, jealousy, that all takes away your shine. Don't let them do that to you. So next time you have that urge, think of your shiny, awesome self and don't give in. Now, several years ago, I was really tested. Many of you have probably heard about, I was fired from a TV show because I wouldn't do a kissing sex scene. They said they needed me to do it for the ratings, but the show, we were on the first episode of the show, and it wasn't going to be on the air for another several months. I was like, what do you mean? And I told them up front, this is something I'm not comfortable doing, and I just don't want to do it. It was in my contract for Desperate Housewives and other shows. In fact, Mark Cherry says, I want you to be on Desperate Housewives this year. I'm like, great. Because I want you to be Nicolette Sheridan's husband. I'm like, great. You're going to kill her by the end of the year. Great. Fun. Pretty funny. And I said, okay, I'll do it, but there's one thing that I won't do. I won't kiss or I won't do sex scenes. He goes, you know this is Desperate Housewives. I said, I know. And he looked at me and he said, I guess I'm just going to have to write smarter. And he did. I did a show called Boomtown where I was this sexual deviant, and I told him the same thing. I told Steven Spielberg, it's not what I want to do. It's great. We'll write smarter and shoot it better. I had people coming up to me on the streets, you are such a pig on that show. But I was the only one on that show who never kissed another woman. But they didn't go for that on this show. They said, you have to do it or we're going to fire you. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it. So they fired me. I was blackballed for 2 years. I couldn't get a job. And because of that, I lost my big, beautiful house in Los Angeles, my shiny Mercedes, all my stuff, and my swagger. And as you can imagine at the time, I was really crushed. They thought that I was some religious zealot, but to me, it was just that I didn't think it was the right thing to do. After that, my confidence was gone. I lost it all. And I started wallowing in self-pity. I started drinking my problems away. It hurt. Almost 2 years went by, and it was the lowest point I could get to. And I remembered this day like it was yesterday. I was so angry, and to God I said, why have you forgotten about me? Why are you doing this to me? But as soon as those words came out of my mouth, I fell to my knees and I cried. I cried and I begged for his forgiveness. Peter said, hope to the end for the divine favor that is coming, and it came. That same day, that very same day, Graham Yost, who's an amazing Hollywood writer, he put me in 2 of his projects. One of them was called Band of Brothers. And if it weren't for Band of Brothers, I never would have met my wife, Reve, and I wouldn't be here speaking to you all right now. And another show that I did for him was called Boomtown for Steven Spielberg. And he called and he asked, I want you to be the villain on the show for the year called Justified. It was my shot back at the title. But by carrying that cross, I fell in love with acting again. I was hungry. But most importantly, I truly appreciated God's favor. I became a man who got through it and realized, as I used to, that I was so blessed, so incredibly blessed to have all the things that I have, but I just wasn't appreciating them at that time. I do now, and I always will. Because I had lost my communication with God. I put myself first. because I was this successful Hollywood guy, not the man that I wanted to be. And through that tough time, that time that I thought that he'd forgotten about me, as my wife always tells me that the amazing Footprints poem, he carried me through it all. I realized another thing. I couldn't really lead by example with alcohol in my life. I had 5 kids, an amazing wife, and a thriving career. There was no room for it in my life anymore as a husband or a dad. In life, you can tell your kids till you're blue in the face to do things. It goes one ear out the other. They are smart. They know. Or you can show them. I chose the latter. Now, as you can imagine, being an Irish guy giving up alcohol is not really the easiest thing. And in Hollywood, there's always drinks out there. There's always parties going on. Neil, have a cocktail. Neil, have a cocktail. But I flicked that switch. And now, I'm here truly for my kids. My relationship with Hervé is phenomenal, and my career, well, if you're an actor and you're on a lead character on one TV show, you struck gold. If you're on 2 shows at one time, that's kind of unheard of. Right now, I am on, as a lead character, 4 different shows on 4 different networks on television. I'm pretty sure that is some kind of record. Keep the faith. Stay the path as hard as it can be at times, and you will receive God's favor. There's a mantra that we have in my family. Family first, me second. God first, me second. If you go by that golden rule in our family for life, it'll keep you out of trouble, for one. But you will be a leader not just to all, but for God. And that's why we are here. So be that gold. Shine, everybody. It's our job to shine for our Lord. And let's keep doing that.